Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Peternell. I am the owner of Family Nutrition Services in Denver, Colorado, and I'm also the creator of the 30-day online program called Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's. You can find out more about Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's in the link just below this video. Today I'm talking about, I think, a very personal subject. And this is to answer the question that I hear quite frequently. Can Hashimoto's be healed or reversed? I'd like to think that the true answer to this question is yes, because I'm living proof that you can heal or reverse your autoimmunity with hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, but that is not true for everyone. My story is unique. I'm adopted, and I don't have a lot of information about my biological family. I don't know if Hashimoto's, for me, was genetic. What I do know is that I was very prone towards autoimmune tendencies from a young age. While I always seemed healthy and fine on the outside, even as a child, I struggled with certain issues like recurrent infections, especially strep throat. And I had to take a lot of antibiotics as a kid for things that probably most kids got over after a while. I had a lot of skin rashes, especially in my late teens and 20s. I also had some, now that I look back, some mental and neurological issues that probably also were related to the onset of autoimmunity. I struggled with depression and anxiety from a young age. I can remember as young as like 5th grade. That's probably attributed to the fact that I have the compound heterozygous for MTHFR, single nucleotide polymorphism, which I've talked about in some of my other videos. You can watch that one about MTHFR. And I also struggled with digestive issues that at the time I did not know was celiac disease. Of course, if you've watched my other video, you know that eating gluten can potentially be a trigger for causing Hashimoto's. So I had essentially the beginnings of 2 autoimmune diseases early on in my life. I was sensitive to gluten, and I had this polymorphism for MTHFR, which means that I wasn't really utilizing folate from food properly, probably not eating enough foods that were rich in folate, and I definitely wasn't taking the methyl form of any type of a folate vitamin. Not to mention that as I was growing up, I was just like any other kid in the 70s and 80s. I was eating Oreo cookies and McDonald's and drinking Coke. Vegetables were sometimes out of a can or frozen or non-existent. And it wasn't because my parents didn't love me to death. They do. They took such good care of me and my brother and gave us every opportunity. But like many families, nutrition wasn't necessarily something that was at the top of our list of goals and importance. Being happy and spending time together, taking vacations, doing well in school and playing sports, those were sort of the fundamentals and the foundation of what our family did. And to celebrate, we had ice cream. And I grew up not knowing anything about holistic health or nutrition. It wasn't until my early 20s when a lot of my health issues kind of started to cannonball. They started to become very, very obvious. Things that I had struggled with in my adolescence, late teens, early 20s, suddenly were exacerbated by a very stressful job. I was happy to be working in the corporate world after college and making money, but I was working long hours. I had kind of a difficult boss. I basically had no money to do the things that I really wanted to do with a starting salary. And I didn't have the means really for shopping for good food. And I was doing a lot of eating out. And of course, I was young, so I was partying with my friends on the weekends. I feel like this is a pretty common story among a lot of the women that I work with. We're just living our lives, going about what we do, growing up, and learning about the world and not knowing much about ourselves and not knowing much about the ways our bodies are supposed to work healthfully until we realize that we have a health condition and we need help. So for me, I realized that stress was taking a huge toll on my life in my early 20s. You can watch my other video about my early symptoms with Hashimoto's. It's one of the very first videos I ever recorded for this YouTube channel. Check it out. I spoke to a client today and she asked me a great question. She said, "What did you do when you realized you had Hashimoto's? How did you feel and what did you do?" Well, my answer is simple. After realizing that I needed help, and after realizing that just taking the medication and checking in with my doctor every couple of months or once a year at times was not enough to help me feel as good as I deserved to feel. And I realized that I was kind of on my own. And I was nervous and I was worried and a little bit overwhelmed by the lack of information, which is one of the reasons why I created Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's, because I've put together every resource I wish would have been available when I was 23, 24 years old and just starting out to learn what autoimmunity against the thyroid really means. I probably would have saved myself a lot of heartache, a lot of hours with my nose in a book. And truthfully, I took matters into my own hands. So when my client asked me, "What did you do? How did you feel when you found out you had Hashimoto's?" I felt inspired. After I realized that this was up to me, I felt excited. I was ready to make a huge change. So I found out that I had Hashimoto's. Shortly thereafter, I was also officially diagnosed with celiac disease. And I had moved into a new stage of my life. Different job, met the man that I was going to marry. I knew we wanted to have a family. And I had set off on a path, going back to school, to study everything that I could about the human body, everything that I could about inflammation, the autoimmune process, everything that I could about the endocrine system and hormones. I really put my nose to the grindstone. I wanted to apply what I called the middle path to my life. I wanted to be able to communicate clearly and effectively and confidently with my doctor so that I could advocate for myself and I could tell my doctor what I had been researching and what I had been learning about without fear or shame or without worry of being ignored. I wanted my doctor to know that I was an informed patient. And I also wanted my doctor to know that I believed very strongly in the holistic approach to health. And I believe 100% that it is not possible to recover or heal from Hashimoto's if you do not have nutrition, proper supplementation, good lifestyle practices, and the mindfulness that's necessary on board. So my own journey, my own experience, I think is unique. I was pretty hell-bent on fixing this problem that I had. I wanted to have children. I knew that the road was going to be bumpy. And I knew that I wasn't healed yet when I had 3 miscarriages when we were trying to conceive our children. I knew that I probably had 2 decades or more of undoing my health that had come before that moment when I was ready to take matters into my own hands. And I was prepared for the long journey ahead of doing things the right way to get better. I knew that there was no magic bullet approach. I knew that there was no magic medicine. I knew that I was going to have to do the hard work. Thankfully, I guess, having celiac disease forced me to be gluten-free. Again, if you've watched my other video about gluten, you know that there's a relationship there. And it was the official diagnosis of celiac, which even took me some time to 100% give up gluten, so I get it. But it was the official diagnosis of celiac that I think really showed me that there was a connection between what was going on in my gut, which was severe IBS with diarrhea, severe. I was highly malnourished. I could eat all the foods in the world and it would go right through me. I knew where every public restroom was in the entire Denver metro area. I was afraid to leave my house. It was affecting my quality of life, and I was at my lowest weight, and I was in very unhealthy weight. I struggled with, as I said, issues with my nervous system and anxiety and depression. I was uncovering every layer of understanding better my hormonal health, my menstrual cycle, issues that I had suffered with my skin, my teeth, my vision. There were so many complexities. There were so many layers. But as I said, I was hell-bent on getting the answers, putting together the pieces of the puzzle to make sure that I could heal. I wasn't going to live the way that I had been feeling in my 20s. I knew I was too young to feel like an 80-year-old. So Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition. Please, if you're new here, watch my other videos about this condition, about lifestyle things that you can do, foods that you can eat, foods that you should avoid, how to take care of your gut, how to do an elimination diet. There's lots of resources here for you. But this just barely touches the surface. My Nourished and Renewed program is the program that's geared to helping you heal and reverse your Hashimoto's. It is possible. But it really requires a full 100% concerted effort to reclaiming your health and to reclaiming your life in the way that you envision feeling your best. I turned 45 this year, and I can say that I feel the best I've ever felt. Yeah, I have rough days. We all do. Sometimes I'm tired. Sure, I've got 2 adolescent kids, and I'm so lucky for my family. I'm so thankful for all of those years that have passed since my diagnosis with Hashimoto's and all of the things I've learned. I'm so thankful for this nutrition practice, and I'm so thankful for the clients that I get to work with who continue to teach me about this disease. It was probably 2012. My daughter was 2 years old, and I'd obviously been working very hard on my journey. I went to see a specialist, a female doctor in the Denver area who is well known for her work in bioidentical hormones and thyroid and adrenal issues, and she's a medical doctor. I went to see her because I had a feeling that things were turning around. And so she did a complete workup on me. I had gone in, right, as a new patient, and I had said on my intake paperwork that I had Hashimoto's. And she called me and said, "No, you don't. Your anti-thyroid antibodies are in normal range, and all of your thyroid levels are in normal range." She did, however, refer me to an endocrinologist for the first of many thyroid ultrasounds because we wanted to see the actual shape and size and condition of this gland in my body to understand. It was the first time I'd ever heard of doing that, to understand maybe if damage had been done and if I would need to remain on medication. And so I do. I take medication. And as I've gotten older and as the years pass and the decades pass, yes, my medication needs to be tweaked from time to time. I've tried a lot of different medications. You can watch my videos that I have about levothyroxine and also about Nature-Throid. I've been able to use my own experiences, my own personal journey to help others that have Hashimoto's. That's really what I'm doing all of this for. Because if you're here and you're watching my videos, you know that oftentimes you might leave your doctor's office similar to a space like this, after about 10 minutes of a conversation and a paper prescription for levothyroxine and nothing else. It doesn't mean that your doctor is a bad doctor. It just means that that's the standard of care for Hashimoto's. This is where I come in. You can watch my videos, you can work with me one-on-one, you can sign up for Nourished and Renewed, but this is when you learn what Hashimoto's is, that it's a whole body condition, that it's actually something wrong with your immune system and not your thyroid, that it probably originated in your gut, and that it probably has been there for a long time, festering in some way or another because of different triggers in your life. Maybe genetics, maybe toxins, maybe a viral illness, maybe stress, or maybe all of the above. So we get to work and we uncover all of these layers for you, just like I uncovered all the layers for me. And you figure out what your new normal is, you figure out what your foundation diet looks like, and you embrace it because it provides health and energy, and optimism, mental clarity, happiness, better sleep. And you start to realize that with better health, a lot of your dreams can come true, whether it's starting a family, gliding through perimenopause and menopause. Maybe for the guys, it's regaining your muscles, your muscle strength, your libido, letting go of brain fog, feeling in control again, finding your joy. We all want that. So I'm here as your partner. I'm here as your partner in health. I'm here to provide education and information, and I'm here to help you with having the best possible experience in your life and on your journey with Hashimoto's. I want to finish today's video by saying that you do need your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm a patient with Hashimoto's. I used to have Hashimoto's. I'm a thyroid patient. I'm a patient advocate. I'm board certified in holistic nutrition. I'm a thyroid expert. I'm a family nutritionist, and I'm here to help. Thanks so much for watching my videos. Thanks so much for joining me at my YouTube channel. I'll see you soon. Hey there. I am the creator of a 30-day online program called Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's. This program is for you if you want to learn how to advocate for your own health and ask the right questions when you're talking to your doctor, and you want to learn all the details about building up your healthy foundation, aside from relying solely on medication. This is a self-paced program, and it's an accumulation of my personal experience from having Hashimoto's and also from 20 or more years working with clients. This program really is the next best thing to working with me one-on-one in my office. In this program, I teach you all about how the thyroid affects your entire body and all of the rest of your hormones. And in this program, Nourished and Renewed, I will help you reclaim your health. You can manage your diet and lifestyle. The link is down below. Check it out. And if you're ready to feel nourished and renewed, this program is for you.